Welcome back, Flare community. A little bit different today. We're not doing a live stream. I am aware that it is Independence Day in America, so happy Independence Day. And in the UK as well, it's actually the general election. So something that I want to keep my eye on. And I'm sure many people in the US are spending time with their families. So please enjoy that. We're not going to be live streaming. And this is why you're seeing a pre-recorded video of this week's news update. So we're going to jump straight in as we normally do and check out these various signal providers on the Flare network. This is solidify.app, and yeah, topping the charts this week is EDP FTSO. Congratulations to them. In second place we have Lena Instruments. Third place we have Flare Beacon. In fourth place Evolve FTSO, and finally in fifth place we have Nordso. So congratulations to all of the signal providers making it into the top 5 this week. And actually it's quite nice doing this pre-recording early, because normally when we do the live stream the epoch just starts. So this is actually indicative of the accuracy over a longer period of time. And of course on the Flare network each epoch lasts half a week, 3.5 days, and that's what it's looking like this week. Over on xHaven, the leading NFT marketplace on the Flare network, we scroll down here, we have Focus Pass topping the charts once again with huge volume of 5.21 million. In second place we have Block Bonez with 1.1 million volume. In third place we have the Block Bonez traits. Fourth place we have S-Toads, and in fifth place Golden Frogs. Again, congratulations to all the NFT projects that are really pushing the boundaries of innovation on Flare. Moving along, we have this here. This is big news from Flare. Layer 0 V2 integration connects Flare with 50,000 decentralized applications across 75 blockchains. This is very significant. And yes, if you're building on the Flare networks, you can build on the Flare networks to access vast quantities of new users and sources of liquidity while maintaining the highest standards of decentralization and security. I'm not going to dig into the article myself here on the stream, but you can definitely check it out yourself on flare.network. They have a lot of articles about all of the significant updates, and this is definitely one worth reading, and really a right step in the right direction, in terms of interoperability and Flare becoming the blockchain for data. Moving along here, yes, if you didn't know, if you haven't seen this chart before, you should definitely look at it. The inflation on the Flare network is reducing. So this is a process of the rewards reducing, and I want to talk a little bit about this in more detail. So since we're entering the third year of flawless operation, the inflation is reducing from 7% on the Flare network down to 5%, and I believe this is effective as of today. What does this mean for you? Well, it means less rewards via staking and delegation, right? Now, a lot of people were talking about this when Flare launched, about how high the rewards were, and this was causing some sort of negative sell pressure. So the rewards are dropping, the inflation is dropping, but you can't have it both ways, right? You can't have low inflation and high rewards. It just doesn't work like that. So the inflation is reducing, and as a result, that means that your rewards are reducing too. But if you have been here from the very start, then congratulations, you've benefited from the lion's share of the FLR distribution and the inflation. These were the good old days when rewards were extremely high, because a lot of FLR was still locked on exchanges, which meant that any FLR that you had represented a larger portion or a larger percentage of the total FLR. These were the good days. Of course, we've just come out of year 2, and now we're in the year 3, and it's set at 5%. Now, there is a cap on the inflation, the amount of FLR. And what does that mean? Well, it means that the inflation is actually going to trend towards 0%. So again, if you're here right now watching this video, you're in a good place. The rewards are only going to get smaller in terms of a percentage of your total holding. So something to take note, especially if you claim next week's delegation and think, why has it gone down? This is the reason. Inflation has reduced. This is one of the favorite gifts from the Flare team this week, and this is the redeem button. A lot of people have minted the F assets or the test version. This is over on the Coston network. But in order to, I guess, keep the ball moving, you want to redeem them as well and go through the full workflow. Now, agents have reserved collateral to redeem a certain amount of F assets, and if they're not being redeemed, that collateral remains locked up, and it sort of stops people from testing the system to make sure it is robust. So just something to note there. This is from Josh Edwards, VP of Engineering over on the Flare team. Had a great catch up with our partners and friends over at Google Cloud HQ. We're cooking up something new and cool that our community and connected communities are going to love. So a little bit cryptic there. There's Josh. I hope that it's something pretty special. I guess time will tell. This is an older tweet that's, well, it's a new tweet, but it's something that is old news, but I think it's worth mentioning. Have you ever seen the QR code pop up on the Flare portal? And this is basically the Flare transaction verifier. It allows you to verify the transactions, basically, and if you're wondering what it is, well, that's what it is. So be sure to check it out if you haven't already. Yes, and there is a new tool coming from Flare.space. This is Flare Advisor, and if we check on it here, it gives you an idea of the percentages that you can expect in terms of APR from both stakers, from staking to validators and also delegating to signal providers. So looking at it right now, it seems that, of course, staking is the best option, and you could earn up to 50%, 55% annually. So just something to bear in mind. Again, this doesn't actually take into account some of the additional benefits from various validators and entities that are providing additional rewards, which we'll talk about later. But moving on, we've got this from Santiago Velez. He's creating the XDeFi protocol, and he says, I spy with my little eye future contracts on the XDeFi protocol beta for XRP and Doge. So this is a new introduction, and if you haven't yet tested this, be sure to do so. This is a futures trading platform, and very innovative because it's also using the FTSO to source data and price feeds for all of these assets. So highly integrated with the Flare network and really novel in showcasing the power of what Flare can actually do. So we have this news from Scepter, and this is, well, not necessarily news, but more of an explainer video about how liquid staking works and why the rewards are actually spread over a 30-day period. It's to prevent people from double dipping, essentially claiming the same rewards twice and taking from the people who are already staking or using liquid staking. So this explainer video definitely clears up a lot of misconceptions about how this works, and I'd highly recommend watching it if you haven't already, and you can find them over at Scepter LS, I guess for liquid staking, right? This is some news from, it's quite interesting actually, QuickSwap Decks, which is basically a DeFi platform launched on Polygon with quite a large amount of followers, 190,000 or just shy of, and they retweeted this post about Spark Dex AI, and as you can see from this tweet, it is now unavailable, which is quite intriguing to me. If you go over to their Twitter account or X account, they have 0 posts now, so they've been deleting some things. They said the first AI-driven DeFi ecosystem on the Flare network. I'm intrigued to see who they're following. OpenAI, okay. But because it was initially retweeted by QuickSwap Decks, I believe they're the masterminds behind this. I'm intrigued as well to know what kind of AI integrations they will be. I feel like AI could be quite a buzzword in the future, where people just integrate certain services like ChatGPT and put this sticker on it as a AI XYZ, you know, whatever it may be. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what comes out of this, and I'll keep my eyes open. So please do subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening on the Flare network. Sticking on the theme of DeFi, we got this news from Anosis about the new Block Bonez FLR to Bonez LP, the farm. It's just been added, or was added a couple of days ago, and this is significantly more rewards than what were available last week. I believe the APY right now is about 75%, and of course BNZ is the asset that powers the Block Bonez ecosystem, Block Bonez being the best-selling collection of all time on the Flare network. So I want to talk a little bit about this because this is a project that I am the sole developer of, and something that I'm very passionate about. And there was a comment actually last week talking about how much I talk about Block Bonez, but honestly it's because my work rate is I've got quite a high cadence when it comes to working, because I work on this project every single day, maybe 16 hours every day. And this is why I'm able to achieve so much work and so many milestones and so many announcements that are comparable to full teams. So this is the start of a new quarter. Looking back on quarter two, what did I manage to build and what happened with Block Bonez? Well, we had a huge announcement with xToads, and this is offering the best and the most comprehensive reward package on the Flare network for anyone that is staking. Not only do you get the standard FLR staking rewards, which is the same for every single validator, which is actually part of the protocol, but you also get weekly rebate airdrops, which can be used in the upcoming DApp, which I believe is going to be launching in the next couple of months. We've got weekly xToad NFTs to give away, weekly 5 million rebates jackpots to give away, and 24 Block Bonez for the next 24 weeks from when this post actually launched. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't been staking with or wondering who you can stake with. This is the most comprehensive package. And also, it actually benefits the project because some of the fees that are gained from this partnership are used to buy back Block Bonez and actually burn them from existence, which adds a deflationary pressure to the Block Bonez collection, which means that the rewards can be higher for everyone else. April, we also introduced the Fusion Room, and this is one of the biggest things about the Block Bonez project, and it unlocked the possibility to fuse traits to the Block Bonez NFT, which brought dynamic NFTs to the Flare network for the very first time. It's a completely new concept over on Flare where you can create something that you love. And we also introduced in May staking for the Block Bonez NFTs without staking. So it's basically, you don't have to lock up your Block Bonez, you don't have to put it in a smart contract, you just have to hold it, and every Block Bonez that you hold can claim BNZ every single second. We also released a new trait category. This is the torso traits, as you can see here. I believe there's 30 individual traits that you can have, from, you know, these fancy tuxedos to rubber rings and rubber ducky rings and even bathing suits, whatever you're into. Also in the quarter, it's been quite busy. The statistics page underwent a big upgrade, which showcased all of the rarities and the reward values for each trait. In June, we had the crematorium, which is where you can burn your Block Bonez NFT in exchange for a trait crate. And I think there's about 6% of the collection that's already been burnt. On the back end, we introduced an infrastructure update, basically IPFS, allowing for fusion times to be reduced massively. And that's just down to seconds. We also announced the Fusion Fund, which is basically a fund full of BNZ, which can be shared between anyone who manages to fuse all 5 traits on the collection. And this is just one person developing, that's me, over the course of 3 months. And yeah, like I said, to that person in the comments who are always saying about how much I talk about Block Bonez, I talk about things that excite me on the Flare network and big developments. And it's not my fault that I work extremely hard. One of the things that we started Q3 off with is a big announcement about the next trait crate. This is the background layer, as you can see. If we just have a quick peek here, there are some of the backgrounds that you can see. In fact, if we go to the Block Bonez website, you can see them all here. These are the various backgrounds that you can fuse to your Block Bonez in the near future. Right now, the trait crates are available. They're here in the dressing room if you do want to preview any of the backgrounds. And soon they will be coming over to the fusion room too. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Finally, it's a nod to the Patreon family that anyone who is a Patreon member of the Legend tier will be able to get discounts every single month on trait crates. So if you are interested, I believe there is a link in the description. And finally, this is just I guess a little note to remind you all that if you are part of the Flare community, then congratulations, you are in the right place at the right time. There's a lot of things happening with Flare towards the end of the year. We've got half a year left and F assets are on the horizon. And we know that Hugo has, I guess, touted this hashtag ship everything, and that's when we're going to see a wave of newcomers come into our community. Please welcome them with open arms. Things are about to get pretty crazy, and of course, I'm sure many of you were introduced to the Flare network and maybe slightly overwhelmed, maybe asking a lot of questions, but that's just the nature of the game. Anyone that's new to the network will have questions, and please feel free to take the time to answer them and, again, welcome newcomers in the best way possible. So that is pretty much the news for this week. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, I'm out.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.